Hello, everybody. Welcome into a special back to school edition Q&A session here on my YouTube channel. I say back to school special because today, at least in my school district here outside of Columbus, Ohio, school has just started. So special back to school edition Q&A session here. And we are not going to talk about school, though, because I don't know if you're like me, but didn't really care for it. But I do love learning, and I do love web design, and I love entrepreneurship, and I know you do as well. So I am here for the next hour until 3 p.m. Eastern today to answer any and all questions you have. We can dive into a plethora of interesting topics right now. Really good to see John LeMay in the house. Hey, John, a Web Designer Pro member. Good to see you. Jump in the chat if you would, guys. Let us know where you're joining us from. I would love to know where everyone's at today. You never know who's going to be right in your neck of the woods as well. So jump in the chat. John is first day at University of North Alabama. Wow. Well, congrats, John. Congrats. Although, let's build that web design business up so that's not even a thing you have to worry about. Good to see everybody here. We've got Nikki in the house who says our schools in Scotland have just started back today as well. So yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like a global thing. My daughter's in a kind of like a community private type of homeschool. Well, it's like a community private homeschool basically. And she starts in a couple weeks. So a little farther behind the normal school system, but I don't know how it's feeling in your neck of the woods, but it feels like early fall already here in Columbus, Ohio. So we're in it. All right, guys. Well, a couple things I wanted to mention real quick, and then I will dive into your questions. You can jump in the chat. And if you would, can you just put a Q in front of your question? Just when we get a lot of chatter in the chat, I tend to lose the question. So put a Q in front of your questions. I am down to answer anything you have on your mind in the way of questions, web design business, entrepreneurship, Jurassic Park, whatever. I wanted to show something real quick here. I actually, just before this, actually revamped my newsletter sign up. So if you guys are not yet on my newsletter, I send a newsletter every Sunday with sometimes it's a quick tip, a quick strategy, a story, a lesson learned. Sometimes it's like a full playbook on a topic. I would highly recommend jumping in. The chat is below in the description. It's completely free. And we just added something new I'm really excited about because when you sign up for my newsletter now, you will get my web design biz revenue calculator. This is what I've given all my members of Web Designer Pro access to, and I'll show it to you. You'll also get the top 5 newsletters to date. So go sign up for free. It's just joshhall.co/newsletter. But when you join, I will send you this web design business revenue calculator. And I want to show you how to use this because you have now the opportunity to map out your revenue goals in your web design business. And there's a couple different models. There's the traditional model, which gives you a bunch of different one-off and recurring service options. You, of course, don't need this many services. I wouldn't recommend having that many services. But I know web designers, we often, before we know it, have like 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13 services. So you can map this out. And here's how easy this is for you. Let's say you have like a website in a day or website in a week that you're charging $2,500 for. Let's say you could do at least one of those a month. So that's 12 a year. Let's say you have a more custom style site that starts at $7,500. You're pretty confident you could do 3 or 4 of those. And let's say every once in a while you get that big whale client that's 10 to 15,000. Let's just say on average it's 10K, and you're pretty sure you could get 2 of those done. Out of the gate, with just that plan of action, we're at 80,000 for the year for your business. So that's your goal. 12 website in weeks, 4 pro websites, and then 2 custom ones, even when they come in. Let's say you have a light branding package that you think at least half a dozen clients are going to choose. 6 of those, it's automatically adjusting the numbers here. This is a Google Sheet, so you don't need any fancy software to use this. Link is below. Sign up for my newsletter if you just joined us, and you will get this for free on me. Let's say you sell some SEO boost plans for 500. You can sell 12 of those. And then we're almost at 100,000 right there with just that small amount of sales for right here. And then let's say you've got maintenance plans. Let's say you get to 25. That's almost $30,000 a year in recurring revenue. Let's say you've got 10 as a fallback plan at $39 a month. And then let's say you have a growth plan that's like $1,000 a month and you could sell 3 of those. Here is your revenue goal. That right there, my friends, is a $165,000 web design business just by playing around with this and mapping this out. And I want to encourage you to do this because you will be shocked at how confident you will be when you map out your revenue goal. So highly recommend it. Just join my newsletter, joshhall.co/newsletter for free, and you will get the revenue calculator. Web Designer Pro members, it's in Pro. You can just search Web Design Biz Rev Calculator and you'll find it. And again, this has some other stuff here. You can also play around with the subscription model if you want to go more subscription, but wanted to make sure you get access to that. Last thing I want to mention before we dive into your questions, my friend Jason Gracia, many of you know him. He is the founder of Swift Sites, which is the most productized web design service on the market. He has sold 679, well, more than that now, almost 700 of the exact same website template to coaches, online coaches. And he is doing a free workshop tomorrow. So I'll be there. I'm actually going to be doing the introduction for him. That is also in the chat, but it's this right here. It is the $1 Million Website Workshop. And basically this system that he has honed over the years and crafted and refined, he is putting this together for other web designers who want to do the productized model. So I will say up front, this is not for everybody. Meaning this is only for those of you who don't want to do the design and development and you want to focus on truly being the business owner and perhaps focus more on sales and marketing. But even if you're not interested in handing off everything yet, but you want to productize a part of your business, I think it's very worthwhile coming to this workshop. It's completely free. Again, I'll be there in the beginning and the link is below. It's the $1 Million Website Workshop with my good friend, Jason Gracia. We're in a mastermind together. I've learned so much from him over the years. And yeah, he's no joke. He literally makes like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month with this model. So I would learn from him. Even if you don't want to follow that model exactly, I think it's well worth learning. If you can't make it live, there is a replay available. All right, guys, jump in the chat. And I would love to know what's on your mind in the way of questions. Alexia said, I used to skip my graphic design class sometimes in high school. And here Alexia is doing graphic design professionally. I just posted on my Instagram yesterday. She recently went full time. So huge congrats, Alexia. Way to go. Way to go. Alexia has also come on board and doing a lot of graphic design for Web Designer Pro and my stuff. So I'm so excited for you, Alexia. And I got a video coming to you after this today here because I got something I'll share with you here moving forward. Hey, Vera, great to see you in the house. Awesome, guys. Can't wait to see it, says Austin, who's excited about the workshop tomorrow with Jason. Heck yeah. All right, guys, I am all yours. Hit me with your questions. Jump in the chat. If you would, put a Q in front of your questions just so I can easily see it in between the other comments. I'm really hoping YouTube eventually has a Q&A box like we have in Circle, which is what I'm running Web Designer Pro on. That'd be great. So let's go, YouTube. Let's make it happen. So I am down to answer any and all questions. There is no bad question, by the way, guys. Absolutely no bad question. So if it's business, if it's pricing, if it's marketing, if it's trends, if it's AI, let me know how I can give you some assistance and we'll get going. Gallo823 says, woohoo, Alexia. Thanks for the living motivation. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Alexia, for those who don't know, as I just mentioned, just went full-time in her business, but just a shining example of what you can do in a year and a half. A year and a half ago, Alexia was on this YouTube channel, and then she came into pro. Within 18 months, she's full-time. She's got her services nailed down. She's got incredible, clear packages and offers. She's become a completely different, confident web design business owner, and she just went full-time. And she's got so much momentum going, and she's slammed right now. So amazing. Alexia says, biggest piece of advice, just keep going through all the ups and downs. Just keep swimming. Yeah, Alexia did have a nightmare client experience earlier this year that almost made her want to close shop, but she got through it, moved on, and here we are. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting. If anyone is using high level to build sites, I have not experienced the site builder. I've found that most all-in-one platforms have a very, very basic, rudimentary, and clunky site builder. I don't know if that's the case with high level. Not in all cases. There are some tools that are getting better. Circle has a new site builder that's pretty slick. So yeah, if anyone uses high level to build, feel free to let Getlow823 know. Oh, thank you, Alexia. She says, couldn't have done it without Web Design Pro and Josh. Well, it's an honor, Alexia, to see what you've done so far. And this is just the beginning. So super, super exciting times ahead. TT Amy, welcome in, says, lots on my mind, but my state recently passed a comprehensive data privacy law, and I've been very stressed about it. What are your thoughts and concerns regarding that topic? TT Amy, the best thing to do is to use Termageddon. Termageddon is the tool that I use for all my sites that a lot of Web Designer Pro members are using, and it is an auto-updating privacy generator. So let me go ahead and put my link. Full disclosure, I am an affiliate, proud affiliate of Termageddon. So I'll put this in the chat for everybody. And then when you guys use that link, you'll come here. What this is an auto-updating privacy generator. It's very, very cool. And actually, if we go to Web Designer Pro, you'll see it here live. Let me go. I got a long sales page right now, which is going to change soon. My privacy policy is auto-updated. So in short, Amy, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it at all because I use Termageddon. And it's all right here. It automatically, based off of where you're based out of in the world, via your state, via your country, it automatically updates to what you need. And the really cool thing about Termageddon is, hear me on this, guys. If you're multitasking, come on over and check this out. Use this as an upsell on your maintenance plans because you can protect all of your clients with auto-updating privacy policy pages that they're not even thinking about because they're not web designers and they don't know what's going on in the digital landscape. But you can protect them. You could charge $20 a month extra or just wrap it in with a more premium plan and you'll thank me later. And it's awesome. So joshhall.co/Termageddon. What are our current, you can get 2 free licenses when you use my link. So full disclosure, I'm an affiliate, proud to be one as well. Plus they're just awesome. Hans and Donata, the owners, are just great, great people. They're super cool. And if you ever meet Hans in real life, like we did at our WDP Con this year, you'll really have a good time, I promise. All right, that sounded creepy. You know what I mean, though. He's great. He's just a great guy. Hey, Nikki, have you used Divi 5 at all yet, Josh? Yes, Nikki. In fact, this month, I've been using Divi 5 on Web Designer Pro for a year. So I actually started using 5 well before I should have live. I just felt like it was far enough along to where I could use it. So yes, I do use 5 currently, and I love it. It's really hard to go back to 4. So Divi users, here's a little look at Divi 5. This is actually my site, webdesignerpro.com. Divi 5 is similar to Divi 4 in the way of the modules and the functionality, but the actual page builder itself is quite different. You'll now have all your layers. It's actually best practice and standards compared to a lot of other builders. So this is the kind of thing you'll see here when you're able to bounce around different sections. I haven't played around with this too much yet, but you can do a lot with global styling with variables. So you can set your headings, you can set images, you can set styles. You can actually go in and set numbers and data that will change almost like advanced custom fields here in your global variables. So it's very cool. Yeah, it's awesome. It's similar to Divi 4, but it is so much faster. It is very, very snappy. And then anytime you are in, let me go back out here. Oh, I'm changing something. Anytime you're in one of these sections, you can go in and you'll see all the normal Divi stuff over here. But now the big thing is you can get in and set presets based off of those variables and create global styles on all of this stuff. So highly recommend Divi 5 if you guys are Divi users and have not played around with it. It is the way of the future, and the future is now because Divi 5 is nearing beta. So you can absolutely use it on live sites, especially if you don't have sites with a ton of extra plugins or add-ons. So yep, I'm using it and I love it. Super, super fast too. Can't stress that enough. Austin said, your podcast last week was great talking about how you sold your agency. Oh, thanks, Austin. I know you had some questions about that in our recent meetup. Web Designer Pro member, an awesome, awesome web designer. Yeah, follow up with me, Austin, if you have any more questions, man. I know that could be something you're interested eventually in one day. Awesome. So yeah, got Nikki's question. Hey, Rosie, it's good to see you. Tried high level, but it was mess of code and super prohibitive design wise, as is the case with most builders that are not a tool that's like based to be a web design tool. Yeah. So again, there are some decent ones that are coming out, but I think what happens is a lot of these like CRMs or all-in-one solution platforms, they try to rush out a product and then it just is a clunky mess often. So, but it doesn't mean it's not going to get better. I've kind of got to the place where if you need something simple and you just need it up, you can use the tool that is actually Rosie. And I just reconnected. Rosie was a member of Pro for a while, and we just reconnected in our friend James Bernard's community, which is actually using the new Circle website builder, which is kind of interesting. So I'll show you this real quick. So if you don't know James, he is a graphic designer, has a huge social media following. Oh, I gotta log out. Hold on a sec. But this is actually... designers. If you know James, you know he says designers. This is using the Circle website builder. So very clean, sleek, and easy to put together. James put this together himself as a graphic designer based off of the templates that Circle provides. And then when you join, in this case, it actually goes from the Circle builder with the same domain right to the checkout into the membership. So it's very, very cool. I do like the Circle builder. I actually have a video that I put out recently that explores it if you want to check that out. But yeah, my rule of thumb is give some grace and patience to tools like that. But if it works and you need something up quickly like James did for his designers community, all power to you. Is it Savita? Web strategies, welcome in. My leads have dried up. Uh-oh. Okay, let's talk. I have niches, a free lead magnet, tapped my referrals, post, social, tried ads, nothing. I'm considering niche targeted cold outreach. Is that advisable? It is a strategy, but that's like the hardest strategy to go with. You know what I would do? Because this isn't in that list. You did talk about referrals, but I'm wondering if you focused on the gold mine that most web designers don't know we're sitting on, which is referral partners. So this isn't something that is an immediate return often, but if you make relationships with folks like videographers, SEO people, if you don't do SEO, social media people, graphic designers, brand designers, photographers, even business coaches and people outside of the creative industry, if you have a handful of people like that, like I had in my networking group, those are referral gold because they have and serve similar clients, but don't do your exact thing. So let's say you work with a videographer, and I always use that because he was my top referral partner. He did video for all sorts of businesses in Columbus, Ohio. Where did they want to put their video? On their website. And if their website was complete trash, I got the lead. So I would explore that for sure. The other thing I would do, Saveda, is, and apologies if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, have you joined BNI or a networking group? Because BNI, which is not a networking group, it's actually a referral group, meaning people pay to be there to give and get referrals. That is a surefire way to get clients. It works every time. We talk about this almost every week in Pro. New members who come into Web Designer Pro often are wondering about lead strategies and client acquisition. And so many members, you'll see BNI, 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 because you go to a place where other professional business folk are who are paying to be there, and they want to grow their business, and they have a network of professionals and friends and family and colleagues. Immediately, you can get technically in front of hundreds of people right out of the gate. So, that's a huge win for this channel, which is I got the pronunciation correctly. Woo, all right. I got that correct. Awesome, Saveda. So yeah, I would really explore a like short to near term win would be not referrals, but referral partners. Who can you give referrals to and who can you get referrals to with ongoing? Again, think social media people, digital marketing, videographers, photographers, graphic designers, brand designers, copywriters, folks who are adjacent to what you do. Let's say you don't do any e-commerce. You don't want to touch it. Probably a smart idea. I get it. Partner with an e-commerce shop, because if you get a lead that wants an e-commerce website, you can say, go to Ryan's agency. They do e-commerce. They'll take care of you. And then Ryan's agency, who doesn't want to serve a $5,000 to $10,000 small web, business website, you're perfect for them. So it could be very, very mutual. And then I would definitely, it's worth investing in BNI or a paid networking group, not just a free one, but a paid one. Even if you have to look at getting a grant. Episode 301 on my podcast was all about how to get a grant. If anyone is hurting, you can look at that episode. It's really worthwhile diving into what it looks like to get a grant potentially for your web design business. That's in the chat if you guys want to check that out. Julia Taylor is kind of the master at figuring out how to get grants from either a state level, a national level, or a couple of different levels there. So I would check that out as well if you need like immediate cash influx. Sometimes that can be time consuming depending on the size of the grant, but a lot of smaller cities and towns will have like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 grant opportunities. So cool. Awesome. Wasn't looking to do cold outreach. Yeah, I don't blame you. I would avoid that at all costs if you can. It's the hardest way to go. All right, guys, let me get back to some other questions. Good question there, though. Awesome. Awesome, Amy. Glad that works out. So let me know if you move forward term again. If you use my link, thank you so much. You will get 2 free licenses. So awesome. Awesome. Who do you use for your print on demand swag? Yeah. So for those who don't know, with Web Designer Pro, we have swag. I use Printful. Hold on a sec. Let me pull this up for you if you guys want to check this out. Yeah, I really, really like Printful. They have been absolutely awesome. So here is the swag that I currently have for Web Designer Pro members. Actually, technically, this is public, so anyone can buy. I mean, shoot, if you want to buy some Pro swag and rep it, good on me. You do not have to be a member to get. You'll be shocked because these can get you leads too. Some members have got clients by just wearing a T-shirt that says Web Designer Pro, because you go to a coffee shop and a real estate agent is in there and they go, "Oh my gosh, I have a client who needs a website. Your shirt looks so comfy," and they are so comfy. So we get this through Printful. They've been awesome. You can go in here, you can create your own swag. And it's all, it's like super, super easy. And it also connects with WooCommerce, which is what I have my swag shop through. It will also connect with Etsy and a couple other options as well. So yeah, that is who I use and recommend. Printful, non-affiliate, but recommend them. Caitlin in with a good question. So accessibility. How are folks handling accessibility with their websites? It built on WordPress with a page builder. We're using Breakdance and finding we have a lot to work to do to bring it up to WCAG guidelines. So, it depends on how advanced you're getting with accessibility. It depends on the client. It depends on the website. It depends on the niche. A lot of different variables depending on like how far you need to go. The good news is with accessibility, as long as you use good best practices for HTML, CSS, the page builder, the actual flow of the website, most importantly, colors. Most accessibility issues I've found in the research that I've done on it and the experts I've talked to, most of it has to do with colors and just a bad navigation or not being able to click through if somebody needs to use the tab button on their mouse to be able to go through their keyboard. So luckily, the basics of good design and best practice web design will cover you for a lot of the main ones. There are quite a few tools out there. I had a very, very interesting time in the accessibility world. And by interesting, I mean awful. I really just did not like a lot of the people in the accessibility world who were, how do I say this? Volatile and very, very hard to work with. On both sides, both overlay people and non-overlay people. However, I do have a few episodes about the different tools available for accessibility and the different practices. So if you guys didn't know this, you can head over to my podcast, podcast playlist, actually. I do have categories for the podcasts. For those who don't know, I host the Web Design Business Podcast, and I do have one here on accessibility. So here are some of the episodes that we did on accessibility. I would recommend going through that, at least a few of these, because we do talk about the basics of accessibility. I have a conversation with an overlay tool and somebody who is an expert in accessibility who is all about non-overlays, like actually what to do on your website without it. So I would check that out. Those will give you some helpful tools. As far as I know, overlays seem to be like the absolute last recommendation. It's kind of more of a band-aid on a bigger issue, which could be just best practices. So that's what I'd recommend doing there, Caitlin. Check those out, skim through those, even if you just need to skim through them and see if some of that helps, just to bring that up to the WCAG guidelines. All right, Tracy is playing around with Divi 5 now, testing it for her own site. Let me know how it goes, Tracy. Very cool. Good to see Matt Robinson in the house. Says he's still hoping to get back into pro soon. Miss you guys. We're ready for you, Matt. And I will say, now would be a really good time to get in because things are booming and a rising tide lifts all boats. And that's what's happening in Web Designer Pro. So come on in when you're ready, Matt. Love to have you back, man. I'm excited to get an update on where you're at. By the way, I do have a current offer for Web Designer Pro if you're interested. I will put it in the chat, but actually I'll put it in the description here. It's 30% off your first 3 months in Pro on either the courses or community tier. So I'm going to head over right now to the description of this video and drop that in there. I would love to help you guys just get a taste of Pro for those of you who have not checked it out yet, and you can use that discount. So give me 1 sec. I meant to actually do this before I went live because this is a current live offer I've got out there for you. Let me put Web Designer Pro link in there. I'm going to put it at the bottom, and then the code is 3 month, 30% off, first 3 months. The coaching tier is currently only available for community members for upgrade. So that will give you the ability to join either just the courses, if you want to just have access to all my courses, or the community tier, which gets you everything minus DM coaching with me and our weekly coaching calls. But that'd be a great place to start. So let me know if that helps. Any questions, as always, let me know, guys. Lilia, welcome in. How do I go about adding my business name to the footer of a project? Should I ask the client or should I specify it in the contract? Number 2, Lilia. For those who join Web Designer Pro, it's in my contract that you can get when you join. It's in the business course under contract. It is a part of your contract that automatically, when you build your sites, it's site designed by Lilia Garcia's agency, whatever your business name is. The great thing about that too is it is quite an SEO win, and it's a hidden way to get clients if you didn't know. I got one time a barbershop from Philadelphia, and I was like, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. So I was like, how did you hear about us? And he said, I was researching barbershops and saw one of your barbershops sites you designed. And I just checked it out. I looked in the footer who it was designed by, and that actually led to like 3 other projects with them. So do it. There will be occasional situations where a client requests that off, especially for bigger businesses or SaaS products or stuff like that. It's up to you whether you just want, out of the goodness of your heart, just take it off, or make it a clause in your contract that would require almost like a buyout of you not putting your footer link in there. That's a little more extreme. If it's a really good client, I wouldn't worry about it, but that is an option for those who are feeling wild and want to make sure you have your link in there. Gallo says, I have to have a poke around Circle. Yes, Gallo. I also just released a few videos about Circle, so I can't recommend enough as well that you consider checking those out. If you go check out Circle, Gallo, what I would do is go to this one right here on my YouTube channel. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know it shows live right there. That's cool. And right there, handy. I would go to this one. This overviews the 11 features that I use all the time in Web Designer Pro. So go check that out. And I sincerely hope it helps. And I sincerely hope you use my affiliate link, because I'm an affiliate and I'm going to be doing some more for affiliates for my Circle soon. Good questions, guys. We've built over 100 sites and put it on automatically, tastefully in the footer. Very cool. Only 2 have asked for it to be removed through the whole process. And if it's a nation brand, I leave it off. Yeah, so that makes total sense, Amy. Yeah. I mean, 2% of clients, that's probably about average. I think I've only had 1. I know 1 was really serious about not putting it on there, and that was the only one. Alexia says, even other agencies can be good too. Currently working on a white label website for one. It's been great so far as a referral partner. Heck yeah, Alexia. Hey, Jen, it's good to see you. Have you thought about creating a course on the new features of Divi 5 and changes since Divi 4? Yes, Jen. My Divi course is on my list to revamp. It will be specific to Divi 5. I will be leaving Divi 4 in the dust, but I'm waiting until Divi 5 is a little more flushed out with a lot of the features. It's basically at the point to where I could do the basics of it, but because so many sites are still using 4, it's kind of a interesting like middle period, because a lot of people are going to be using 4 for a while until it's like super, super safe, especially for big sites with a lot of stuff, to be able to migrate over to 5. So that is in the works. My plan is to do it by the end of this year. If anything, I'm definitely going to do just like a 1-hour overview of 5 and add it into the Divi 4 course. But eventually we'll have a full-on Divi 5 course. Yep. Do online networking groups well for remote people? I can't say personally. There are online meetups. You can go to meetup.org, or I think it's .com. And there are meetups for business owners, web-specific stuff. I mean, obviously, there's communities like mine, Web Designer Pro. There's Facebook groups. There's free and premium and all sorts of different levels. There's coaching programs where you can network with other referral partners, ideally. That's one thing that happens in Web Designer Pro. We just talked about this yesterday on our weekly call, to where one of our members, Ben, said he views Web Designer Pro members as like coworkers. Like we all, and a lot of people are partnering up, white labeling like Alexia is doing, but also hiring each other out. If somebody does SEO, another web designer doesn't want to touch SEO. That's what we call a win-win in Web Designer Pro land. So absolutely, I would just keep on throwing everything at the wall, Saveda, and see what works. Newbie question. Welcome in Image Form Studio. How to handle client paying for underlying tech fees, hosting, plugins, email, etc. I've been working with folks who trust me with a credit card, but I don't see this working in the future. Yeah, that's a good question. It is kind of like, I really hate it depends answers, but this is an it depends answer. It kind of depends on how long they're going to be with you and whether a lot of these things are things that you want to control in your packages and just do it for clients. Because as much of a pain in the butt it is to be able to have clients buy their own stuff and give you access, it can also be a pain vice versa. So, well, actually, let me restate that. it seems like it would be better to just say, client, you take care of all that. You pay for all the plugin stuff and then we'll do it. But clients forget. And then they'll be like, hey, where's my login? And you're like, I don't know. You signed up for it. Where's your login? So that can happen a lot. I've actually found if you can do as much as you can under your business roof, it also puts you, I say this delicately, it puts you in a position of power because you are their webmaster and they rely on you on everything. So there's more responsibility with that, but it can actually be a bit of a retention strategy because some clients are like, I don't want to worry about that stuff. You take care of all that. Just invoice me or put it on, the either recurring or one-off annual invoices. So it really can work both ways. If you have a really good client and they're not tech savvy, I would do it. If you have clients who are bouncing around and may not be with you that long, they do it. Have them purchase the stuff and then they take care of. Or if you trust them to take care of their finances and renew on time, they can do it. But otherwise, there's nothing wrong with you taking on quite a bit. But it is harder at scale for sure. And then there's more responsibility with you having control of credit cards. And then naturally, when a credit card expires, you got to talk to the client. So all of those things, good and bad, can happen. Hey, Jackson. M. Jackson 1. Any best practices for handling things like setting up contracts or even their website terms and conditions in terms of service or small business insurance? So as far as the contract goes, I would highly recommend grabbing my contract, which is inside of Web Designer Pro in the business course. I also do have a video on my YouTube channel, which overviews my contract. So you can just search Josh Hall contract. As far as website terms and conditions, terms of service, there's two different terms type pages. There's terms of conditions and disclaimers, which really have to be written by you or by the client because that is specific to your setup. Like, when do you email? What do you do with their information? How often are you going to contact them? Where is their data stored? That needs to be handled by either you or your client. And then there's privacy, which we talked about early on. For those who missed it, go to joshhall.co/termageddon, which is in the chat. And that's who I use for auto updating privacy pages. Business insurance, usually that's going to be a case of either a financial advisor or a CPA can help with that as well. So the legal stuff, is it 254? There's an episode on my podcast talking all about legalities. Very, 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 very worthwhile coming over to this episode here. Hold on, let me pull this up for you. Because this dives into every bit of legal stuff. And it's this one here. We had a member of Pro for a while, a founding member, Ann Capuzza, and she is a lawyer who is also a web designer and a creative. So very, very unique perspective in the market. So you can learn from her and check out episode 254. Highly recommend that to dive further into the legal stuff for you. So there you go. Yep. My website, not clients. Yeah. So all those things still need to be done by you. Go into my business course or just search Josh Hall web design contract. You'll find my video on it. It doesn't give you the contract, but you'll get an overview and then join the course to get all the templates, everything you need. And then your terms are up to you. Use Termageddon for your automatic privacy updating and then talk to a CPA or lawyer for your insurance. Awesome, guys. Caitlin's going to check out those podcasts. Very, very cool. Awesome, Lilia. Glad that helped. Gallo, sorry. Open Door Creations. Hey, Josh, you should get an affiliate link with Printful before we all sign up with them. Thank you. I know, right? I do need to sign up for the affiliate program. Dang it. Wish I would have done that before this. For the next Q&A, I'll have an affiliate for that. I do. I really love those guys, though. They've been great. Good looking out. I appreciate that. Hey, Tack. Been struggling with getting clients. With AI, many see websites as a commodity. I've tried pitching conversion rate optimization, which is CRO, but it doesn't land. How can I better frame the ROIs so clients see the real value? I think it depends on what type of clients you're talking to. The thing about AI is, yes, you can use AI to help out with copy. You can use it in a lot of cases with builders to create basic layouts, but AI is not near of a place to be replacing websites as a whole or web designers as a whole, because as we all know, websites are so much more than even just regenerated copy or simple layouts. Like, there's so much strategy and so much conversion that clients aren't even aware of. So I think in this case, I would put a really clear return on investment if you can. If you have real numbers and real details about average sites that you've done and conversion rate metrics, things like contact form submissions, calls, bounce rates, clicks on the website, stuff that is like measurable, the more you can do with that tech, the better. So get as detailed and as measurable as you can to help out with that. I mean, yeah, you're going to get some people who just say like, oh, I'll just do it with AI. Just like people 10 years ago were like, well, Wix has its own website builder. Why do I need a web designer? I'll just do that. How did that work out for a lot of people? Shocker, not well, which is why none of those companies are pushing to the DIY market. Have you guys seen that recently? Wix, Squarespace, a lot of these are not pushing DIY websites anymore. They are going for serious professionals because DIYers, God bless them, they just make a mess because there's a lot more to web design than just sticking something up there unless you have a proven template that is just purely, you're fine with just a couple new words and a couple pictures. But I wouldn't worry about that at all. It's more shots on goal. And I think for you, I would also be as personalized as you can, because AI is not going to give it a true personal experience. And again, I'm using AI every day with ChatGPT and inside of Web Designer Pro in a lot of different ways, but more so than ever, clients need human. Clients need and want a human to work with. So think of your self-tack as more of a guide, not just with the website, but with their digital presence altogether. And you don't need to be a digital media marketing agency, but it just means that you are helping them with much more than just the website piece itself, which is crucially important. But do they know where to get started with AI? Again, it depends on your niche. If it's a more savvy, segment of customers, then the more detailed and the more personalized you can get, the better. So a little vague, but I hope that helps a little bit. Awesome image form. I'm glad that helped. Good question here from Lilia. I'm a new web designer. How should I approach creating and organizing concept projects and building current client sites? What is the best way to structure it? Should I use different domains and subdomains? Yeah, when you're doing current client sites, to make it visible for them, I generally recommend doing either a subdomain or a temporary domain. Like in SiteGround, which is what I use, you can go in and create a temporary domain. It's going to give you a wacky string of numbers, but it can be viewed online. It's just not live searchable. The other thing you can do is with WordPress, you can download local WP, which will give you an option to build a site locally on your computer off internet, which is really handy. However, when you need to show that to a client, you need to kick it up somewhere on a server. So in most cases, Lilia, I recommend using a subdomain like clienttest.yourdomain, which is what I would do often, or a temporary domain. Those are the two different types of like testing domains. Sorry, guys, my voice is going out a little bit on me here. Another newbie question, probably more involved, but banking setup recommendations. I've listened to Shannon Mattern's episode on her nightmare with Stripe. I will stay away. So I'm still using Stripe. I think that was a rare thing with Shannon. I know that was super surprising. A lot of you know Shannon Mattern. She's a close colleague of mine who had a nightmare experience with Stripe. There's a few different options that I'm aware of aside from like PayPal, Wise, and a few others, which is more of a transfer. Sometimes you can talk to your bank about setting up ACH direct deposit. Like I use 17 Hats for invoicing and contracts. And there is an option for them to just pay directly ACH to the bank. It cuts out the middleman with Stripe. But in most cases, Stripe is still going to be industry standard. So Yeah. As much as I feel terrible for Shannon, I wouldn't necessarily let that avert you. I mean, Stripe is still pretty industry standard. And I think if I remember right, I think that Shannon had to talk to her bank to set up a merchant account of some sort to be able to connect with her WooCommerce. So not ideal, especially for a newbie. So I would stick with Stripe for as long as you could, unless you for any reason would need to change. How do you go about managing sites and maintenance plans for clients? I prefer for them to own the domain, but I would like to offer maintenance. Any pricing suggestions? I am a newbie. Yes, for all newbies, do yourself a favor and head over to joshhall.co/start. I have a getting started guide. This is in the chat, but this is going to give you, just for time's sake, this is going to give you more details on some of the stuff like that. This is a 10-step action plan, and we actually get into services and pricing, including maintenance plans. So go sign up for that. It's completely free. And I would highly recommend, with maintenance plans and hosting, I would try to take on as much as you can. It's fine for clients to purchase the domain name and then use you for hosting. But I would try to take on the hosting and the maintenance plans for your ongoing monthly recurring revenue. Price points wise, most maintenance plans are going anywhere between $29 and $99 a month, depending on what you offer. I really like the idea of having one standard tier for maintenance and then a fallback plan. And then you can have additional growth plans for more like higher level ongoing stuff when you get to that point. Yeah, but I would definitely try to try to do as much as you can when it comes to ownership, because you can always transfer domains and stuff. Hockey reference, says Tracy. Love it. Awesome, guys. About 10 minutes left here, so we'll start to do some final questions here because I know I can be long-winded. How have you handled situations where your client doesn't provide their input or assets by the due date? Also, what platform do you use for hosting your courses? So I use Circle for hosting my courses. Love Circle. Absolutely love Circle. I host everything in Web Designer Pro. As far as what to do when they don't give you content on time, you could do urgent warnings and then late fees. Those are the two things. So generally I would do it like as soon as they miss their deadline by like 7 days. If you can automate it with 17 hats or something that you're having your automation going through, or Content Snare can do this as well if you use that for content collection. But you've got to basically give them a warning, maybe a couple warnings, and then get personally stern, and then a late fee, which means in order to move forward, it requires an additional investment because you had a late fee. By the way, this is the same for any other business out there. When my wife and I were building this house we built 3 years ago, they were so strict and you could not miss a deadline or you would incur a fee of some sort. Guys, web designers we need to start acting like serious business owners, basically. We need to stop acting like artists and creators and being a true business owner. And business owners have stern warnings and stern penalties for late stuff. So it's for the good of everybody. So I would do that. I mean, the other tactic is you can move a project off of your production line and say, you didn't get the stuff to us on time. Now it's on a backlog, but then that's going to make things worse. I would do a late fee and it should be in your contract. So go to my contract, guys, search Josh Hall Web Design Contract, come into the business course when you're ready, which is inside of Web Designer Pro, take my contract. It will be worth tens of thousands of dollars for you. I promise. Take the contract, tweak it as needed, but use that. That contract is literally 16 years of refinements into this single contract, which you can take. It's inside my business course and Web Designer Pro. So get on in. Description below with a special discount. Even if you just want to try the courses to just give it a go with your 30% off discount for 90 days, you'll have plenty of time to experiment and see if it's a good long-term fit for you. Yeah, same here, Austin. Use Stripe as well. No issues. I think it was a rarity for Shannon on that situation. Yeah. So Nikki's been using Go Cardless in the UK. There's a ton of different options so far. She likes that. Good to know, Nikki. Woohoo. All right, Gallo just got his 10-step action plan. Again, that's completely free, guys. Go pick it up. Free action plan. Let me know if that helps you out with getting going. Can you define what the loop builder is? Why do I want one? Why is this functionality so fabulous? So yeah, Divi came out with the loop builder, which is in short, for anyone who's familiar, I know you're on the newbie side, Image Form Studio, so you may not know about this, but there's a plugin called Advanced Custom Fields, which basically gives you the option to do a bunch of different types of posts like blogs, portfolio, images, anything that's repeated or categorized. And you can create a module in Divi and say, hey, I want you to put like the latest 6 of this category of post right here. And that's that's called the loop. So it'll continue to loop out those 6 recent, newest car designs or whatever the site is. So that's what the loop builder is. Yep. True that, says Alexia. I'm assuming that was towards the contract. Yep. Yeah. So it's kind of like advanced custom fields for Divi, basically. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize the sound was off. I don't know what happened there. So sorry, guys. You just heard me not saying anything. I muted myself so you wouldn't hear my cough, and then I forgot to unmute. So lesson 101, when you do a live, make sure you unmute. Sorry about that, guys. So what I just said was the best web design wisdom that has ever been talked about, but I was accidentally muted, and I forgot. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say anything about that. I did say that final call for questions. I've got about 5 minutes. My daughter has her first dance practice today in a little bit, so we got to get rolling. But I did want to say, head over. The link is below to Jason's $1 Million Website Workshop. I'll be there tomorrow. This is ideal for you if you want to have a productized, templatized web design service, even if it's just a website in a day or website in a week offer. This could be a really good tool and system for you. So go check that out. It's completely free. I'll be there, and I hope to see you. Awesome, guys. All right. And then, Lilia, do you have any training on the back-end operations and workflows for a web designer using Elementor? I'm not an Elementor person. Jason is, though, with Swift Sites, oddly enough. So, no, I do not have anything on Elementor. But there's a lot of good ones out there. Daryl Wilson, Wes McDowell, some good Elementor folks. Lilia says, I'm all signed up. All right. Awesome, guys. Awesome. All right, everybody. Any final questions? I got a couple more minutes. Apologies. I did not realize that I forgot to unmute. Again, when you do a live stream or a workshop for your potential clients, remember to unmute when you have to cough. Lesson of the day. Awesome. Awesome. And then Lilia had said, what about concept projects? I'm building my portfolio, want to have them visible to prospects to use a different domain. You could do test sites that are a completely different domain, but I wouldn't create like a fake business and try to pass it off like a real business. I would just say, like, here's a design style that I designed. It's, design style 1, design style 2, design style 3. I would go about it like that and just be open about like a mock-up portfolio, basically. Okay. Housekeeping. I sent an email about the swag vendor. You can just delete that and do a bill of vendor. Got it. Good to know. Good to know. But yeah, check out Printful. I don't think I'm an affiliate. Am I an affiliate? I know that was mentioned earlier. Let me look real quick. That'd be pretty cool. I do need to sign up, I think. So I will do that. All right, guys. Final question of the day goes to M. Jackson 1. Have you worked with any learning design agencies, clients, folks that build e-learning for corporations to improve employee performance? I have not. But if I were, I would really encourage you look into Circle. Or if you're going to stick on WordPress, the two best course builders, in my opinion, are either LearnDash or Lifter LMS. I know Lifter LMS does a lot for corporate e-learning platforms. So any one of those, Circle, if you want to have it self-hosted outside of WordPress, on WordPress, LearnDash, or Lifter LMS. All right, guys, great session. Thanks for joining. I got to bounce here. We're going to get my little daughter off to her first dance class of the year. Really good to see you, Lilia. Great questions, guys. Great questions. Again, couple things. If you joined us late, link is below. Go sign up for my newsletter. My newsletter is free. And when you sign up for my newsletter today, if you're not already on my email list, you will get my brand new Web Design Biz Revenue Calculator. And you can map out your revenue target for your business. And you'll be shocked about how quickly you can get to six figures with this. So jump over there, sign up for Jason's workshop. I'll see you over there tomorrow, noon Eastern tomorrow. If you want to have a productized website system, either now or maybe in the future. Maybe you just want to see what this is all about and have it in your back pocket for when you're ready. And newbies, go to joshhall.co/start. Pick up my free action plan. That'll give you some tips on your pricing, your offers, tools, all the good things to help you get going. All right, everybody. Really, really great session. Great questions today. I will see you next month. Have an awesome day. Apologies about the mute, but we're all good. Great one, guys. I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Cheers. Oh, real quick. Jackson uses Wix. That's okay. That's all right. No shame. No shame. I don't hate you for it. Wix Studio is actually pretty robust. I don't know if you use Wix or Wix Studio, but all good. Whatever works. That's how I feel nowadays. All right. No problem, guys. Great session. Really good to see everybody. And if I don't see you in Web Designer Pro, I hope to see you next month on the next Q&A. Bye, guys. See you, Austin. Bye, everybody.